Here at the Popcorn Passport, we are doing the Halloween special, an entire week of Halloween movies broken down into genres. Top 5 different genres. Today, we are doing Monster Hunters. My personal favorite Monster Hunters from cinema. In no particular order, but the top 5. We're going to go with number 5, The Monster Squad. A bunch of kids who are monster enthusiasts happen to run into some of the classic monsters of cinema. Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, the Mummy, and the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I think they just called him the Creature in this. And these kids, I mean like little kids, like 10, 15, 12, something like that, they have to figure out a way to kill these monsters. And they get a little bit of help from a guy that they are certain is a homicidal maniac. They call him Creepy German Guy. And he actually is on their side. So it's the kids versus the monsters. And they call themselves the Monster Squad. Great movie. It's a good watch. Number 4, Hellboy. Of course, Ron Perlman did it better. But Hellboy, in any of its iterations, in either actor doing the movies, Hellboy is the son of Satan that comes to Earth and fights monsters. Now, he thinks he's clearing the world, cleaning, all of the evil off of the face of the earth. But what is happening in actuality is Satan is trying to toughen him up. You got to get out there, kid. You gotta fight. So he wants him to fight these creatures and monsters. Plus, it's clearing the board. It's getting rid of a lot of stuff so that they can take over. But so he can't really stop fighting because he's getting rid of evil. But at the same time, he's kind of being groomed to be the king of hell. So that sucks. But he kills a lot of monsters. So he makes the list. The Evil Dead series. Ash. From the beginning, Ash was just he's just one of the people that was in the movie, and he survives. But eventually, going on to the Army of Darkness, Ash becomes a full-blown buzzsaw-handed, rifle-toting, this is my boomstick yelling killer of the dead. That was a funny horror movie. This is my boomstick. You gotta see it. If you haven't seen Army of Darkness or The Evil Dead, it's part of the same series. You need to see that. It was hilarious. And it had monsters in it, so it was good. But Ash does a really good job of clearing the board of monsters. Now this one's old school. The Satanic Rites of Dracula. Now that one is Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. Back in those days, aside from like maybe Boris Karloff and Lon Chaney, those were the guys. And you got them both in the same movie playing vampire and vampire hunter. Peter Cushing is playing one of the Van Helsings. And I like this particular iteration of Van Helsing because he seemed to know a lot. He seemed to know everything, the weapons that he needed, he was a monster hunter. He was an actual, honest to God, I get up every morning, this is what I do for work type dude. And he hunted monsters. And I like that one. It was a throwback from way back, but I like that. Hey, that rhymed. That was an accident. Number 1, Blade. Wesley Snipes essentially kicked off the current Marvel movie mayhem by doing this movie Blade. Blade is a supernatural hunter of the vampires. He's slightly different from his original iteration in the comic books, but the way they do it in the movie is better. In fact, the way they do it in the movie is so much better that they changed the comic book character to mimic the movie character. And he's good. He's got all of their powers and none of their weaknesses. So sunlight doesn't mess with him. Crosses don't mess with him and everything. And since his mother was pregnant with him and bit by a vampire, his mother died right before she gave birth, right after she gave birth to him. So he was born part human, part vampire because she got bit. So she was changing. So he changed. But he didn't get bit, so he doesn't have the flaws of being a vampire. But he has boundless rage. He has been on a tear to kill he calls them suckheads, every vampire he can find. And he is very good at it. He kills a crap ton of vampires in the books and in the movies. He kills a lot of them. One of these days I'm going to go back and count. But it's a lot. Those are my favorite vampire hunters. Did you have another one? Did I miss one that should have been in the top 5? Let's talk about it in the comments. And as always, if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. And then like.